Hi there, this is Mrs. Piper, and we are getting ready to begin the painting portion of this project. And before you begin painting your final copy, which by the way, you have drawn onto your watercolor paper, you have sketched out your rough draft. You might have done a couple of different color schemes to decide which one you want to use. But before you begin to paint, I want to show you this student example to go over the order with which you should paint your composition. We're using tempera paint. Tempera paint is an opaque, water-soluble paint which should not stain your clothing. The only color that I've had trouble with in the past has been magenta. So if you're using magenta, be very careful not to get it on your clothing. But for the most part, it does not stain. The reason that I wanted to pull out this student example was because it's got several areas. It's got a background, a middle ground, and a foreground that you need to think about in your own composition. The sky is the background. That's the area that's furthest from the viewer. The area that's in the middle ground includes the buildings and the trees. And then in the foreground, we have the dancers. Now, what I want you to keep in mind as you're beginning to paint is that you have to paint all of your background first. The background is the first part of the painting that you're going to complete, because if you make a mistake on the background, when you paint the middle ground, it'll cover up any errors that you might have made. So this student painted the light blue, the medium blue, the dark blue, and the very dark blue first. Then, when that was totally dry, she painted the lighter parts of the buildings, the medium buildings, the darker buildings, the very darker buildings. But you can see she changed the value every time she hit one of those concentric circles. So you can see right here, I'm going to hold it up to your camera. I hope you can see this. Right where this building hits the concentric circle, her violet changed from a light violet to a medium violet. So it's going to be very important that you have different values already established in your composition or in your paints, so that when you're painting your composition, it'll be an easy transition. You'll notice that her trees were gray, the same grays that she used in the buildings, which I thought was really smart. By repeating that gray in multiple areas, it causes the viewer's eye to move around the composition. So I think that's a very smart thing to do. Use the same color in more than one area. You see the dancers were the last things that she painted. She left them totally white, like her paper, until the dark gray dried, and then she painted the figures in. Okay, so we've looked at our example, and now what I'd like to do is show you how to organize your paints for this part of the composition, or for this part of the project. Now, here's my example. This is my figure with the city in the background, the fans in the front. I've not finished drawing it yet, but because I need to make the video today, you're going to see me at least start on the sky. Now, if you recall, I did a couple of mock-ups. I have one composition that has a blue sky, and then I have one composition that has a yellow sky. I think that I like the warmer sky better, so I'm going to go with the yellow sky, but I'm going to tweak it just slightly. Instead of using straight yellow, I'm going to use yellow-orange. So this is what you're going to be doing. You're going to get the colors that you need. For me, I need a yellow, I need an orange, and then I need the white. Everybody will be using the white to lighten your original color. If I need to make the yellow-orange darker, I look at the color wheel. Opposite of yellow-orange is blue-violet. So if I need to make the yellow-orange darker, I'm going to add a little bit of blue-violet to it. But right now, I just want to make the yellow-orange. Each of you will be using these little 1-ounce cups with a lid. And the reason that you're going to use these is because you're not going to be able to remake a color that was mixed. You're not going to be able to remake the exact same color the next time you're in class. So it's going to be very important that you have a supply of the color that you're using already ready. Okay? So I'm going to take these little cups, and they each have a lid, and I'm going to look at my composition, and I'm going to see that I have a light yellow, a medium yellow, a dark yellow, and a very dark yellow. On my big picture, I have 1, 2, 3, 4 yellows plus a little dab of a fifth. But I'm not really going to worry about that fifth dab because I could just mix that up at the very end. I don't need to use a cup of paint for literally a tiny little ½ inch corner. Okay? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my cups, and I know that I need 1, 2, 3, 4 of them. So I'm going to get 4 little cups, and I'm going to put my name on each one of them with a Sharpie marker. This way, when I come back the next day, I know that this one belongs, that this color is one of my colors for the sky. So I've written my name on the lid, and now I'm ready to put my colors in it. So label all of your cups